Hi, welcome. My name is Jamie, also known as the lovely Jamie. I am going to do my eyebrows with you today. I have had a few people ask for an eyebrow tutorial, and eyebrow tutorial for me is weird because I feel like I just do it and I don't know that I can teach it out, but I'm gonna try. So here goes nothing. First, I'm going to probably pluck a few strays, so just whatever tweezers you have that you really like. I don't even know where I got these. They're just, I have like 10 pairs of tweezers, but this is my favorite pair. So right now, just like a little pair of scissors to trim. I also have all of my eyebrow tools ready. I have a couple different things, but my favorite by far is the Precisely My Brow pencil. I use the color 4.5. It has the pencil and it has the little spoolie brush on the end. I also have the Brow Micro-Filling pen. What color is this one? Deep brown. I have this. This one's pretty cool. I don't use it as much. I also now have this cool pen from my friend Madeline, the Brow Contour Pro. This is the one that has all the fun little clicky things, you know? This one's pretty cool. And then the 24-hour brow setter gel in clear, although I want to try something different, so maybe in my next video I'll have something new. We'll see. But for now, those are the brow tools. Then I follow up with concealer, whatever color you like. I am going to use my Fenty concealer. I have the color 190. And I just have a small brush to be precise, and then a bigger, more fluffy brush to blend. Cool. The first thing that I do when I do my eyebrows, no matter what, whether I'm plucking first or if I'm just going in and gonna fill them in, even if I'm just going out without putting anything on my eyebrows, always, always, always brush your eyebrows up, make them look more full, more alive. If you're cleaning up your brows, this lets you see, what's not in line on the bottom. And then I brush them down. I'll show you. I'll do that. Okay. So eyebrows brushed. I just go in with tweezers, pretty basic. Pluck out the strays that would make it look uneven along the bottom here. The hardest part is when you are growing your eyebrows in. And starting to get the jagged line, but you're trying to let them grow, so you don't want to pluck. So I have a couple brow hairs on this eye. I'm trying to get close so you can see it. On this eye, there's a couple brow hairs that are a little lower, but I'm trying to let my brows grow a little more, so I'm going to leave them alone. Okay, couple quick tips that I have learned in my many years of doing my eyebrows. Number one, you want, if you lay your tweezers down on your face, you want the front or the middle of your eyebrow or the front of your eyebrow to line up with the side of your nose, right? So if we look at my nostril up to my eyebrow, it lines up on this side, and this side's a little bit shy of it, but I have a scar right there, so it never really grows in. Then from your pupil, it's hard to look in the mirror and look at you, but from the pupil to your arch, I think it's supposed to be, 45 degrees? I don't know. But that should line up. Your pupil to your arch, that's like a good way to figure out where your arch should lie. Again, this eyebrow kind of goes rogue. I had an interesting situation happen with this eyebrow when I was younger. Maybe I'll tell you that story. Then the corner of your eye should line up with the end of your eyebrow on both sides. Pretty good. Everybody's eyebrows are different. It's not always a perfect match, but that's a good guide to say, okay, how do I want to shape my eyebrows? The one thing I will say that I never do, I never pluck into the growth of my eyebrows. So if I look at the base, the line underneath my eyebrows, if I was to draw a line with a marker, I only pluck what's below the line that doesn't blend in with the rest of my eyebrow, if that makes sense. Okay, so I've plucked the underneath a little bit. I'm going to brush down and pluck a little from the top. I don't think that there's a ton. I must have plucked my eyebrows not that long ago and I didn't realize it. Okay, so I have plucked the top. Sometimes people say don't touch the top. I say don't tell me what to do with my eyebrows. But some people say don't, like eyebrow people will say don't touch the top. But sometimes the top, like depending on who you are, how hairy you are, how your hair grows, sometimes the top looks a little crazy and you need to clean it up. But I follow the same rule with the top that I do with the bottom. If I were to draw a line that went with the base of my eyebrow, if I did the same thing on the top, I only pluck what's outside of that or what might make that line jagged if I was to try to encapsulate all of it. Does that make sense? Better. Okay, so eyebrows are plucked. Now I'm going to fill them in. The Brow Contour Pro pen, I actually really liked the first time I tried it. Oh, that's the light one, I want the darker one. So there's a couple different colors in here, a lighter and a darker. The darker shade I use to go underneath my eyebrow. I line the bottom of my eyebrow and I brush up with the pencil. So your eyebrow, as far as I know, I'm not a professional. Take this how you will. Darker line along the bottom, fill it in a little towards the end, but the middle of your eyebrow, the front of your eyebrow should be more soft. It should be a little bit lighter, right? So I'm going to use the darker color to do that base line and fill in towards the end, and then I'm going to go back in with the lighter color. Let's see how this goes. The first time I used this, I liked it. So hopefully I like it again. When I do this line, I try to go really lightly so that I don't have a really heavy line to try to blend out. Sometimes I can get away with just doing the line and spooling it out, and that fills in my eyebrows enough. When I'm doing more of a full face, a full face of makeup, I really fill it in. I don't know if am I holding the mirror in front of the, it's my first day. So that baseline is there. You can see it, it's really defined. So the baseline is there. I'm now gonna take the pencil and fill in some of my, it's not bald spots, but just where there's less hair, and fill that in. Very lightly, in strokes, not like coloring, but just like in strokes, so it looks as close to hair as possible. If I'm doing this right, my eyebrow should be starting to look darker. Yeah, it looks darker than the other one, right? I just do a little smudge up towards the middle because I want this to be softer than the rest of my eyebrow. Just a little, and then the rest can be full. Okay, if you make a little mess and get a little pencil color like I have kind of smudged down here, it's okay. We're gonna clean it up at the end anyway. So I'm gonna switch to the light shade. And fill in here a little bit more. Sometimes I just use all one color, and that's fine if that's all you have. Use all one color. Just do more gentle strokes towards the front of your eyebrow. I'm gonna go all the way through my eyebrow with this lighter color so that the color is blended all the way through, so it doesn't look like I just use one color here and one color for the rest of my eyebrow. So once it's all filled in, so it looks a little heavy, the way to get rid of that look is to spoolie them out. So I take my spoolie brush and I just brush it out. Oh, you see, just color everywhere, just like a fool. This is why I don't do my eyebrows on camera normally, because I just make a mess. But if you look, you can see it looks a little more natural once they get spooled out. I take a Q-tip and just gently roll it along my under eye, along the top. Look at that, smooth that right out. So much better. The brow setter gel and clear. Brush it through all the way to the end, and then I flip it for the smaller hairs and more finely comb through what I just did so there's no like clumps of gel. I'm going to take my Fenty concealer on my, a concealer brush. I start when I conceal a little bit in from my eyebrow to drag out. If I started right under my eyebrow, it might have a lot of product on my brush, which I do, and it would just blob right there. And if I needed to try to correct it, it would be potentially everywhere. So if I start a little further down with the product, work it off a little, then start drawing my line. And I just pull my brush down to pull away the excess of product. So I'm not gonna do my whole top of my eyebrow, but I did go in a little bit on the top, make it crispy, you know? So I went up a little too far. You might be able to see it. There's a little bit of concealer on my actual eyebrow. Happens. So I'm just going to use my normal, just the Precisely My Brow pencil, dark brown, 4.5. So I'm just gonna take my pencil and color where the hair might have a little concealer on it. The longer you let your concealer sit, the more it's gonna dry the way that it is. So I'm gonna just let this sit for like 30 more seconds, and then I'm gonna blend it. Blending the concealer out and into my eyelid. I always do my eyebrows before I do any eye makeup so that the concealer just blends in with the eyeshadow, whatever I choose to do. So now, eyebrow done, eyebrow not done. So we do the same thing on the other side, and then that's it. Sometimes I just go out with just eyebrows on, because when they look good, you know, that's all you need. All a girl needs, all anybody needs is a good eyebrow. You know what I'm saying? Let's do the other one. This eyebrow is coming out terrible. When I was a freshman in high school, I used to wax my eyebrows with like the strip wax. Remember? So Sally Hansen used to have like a box, and it was like a strip like this, and you cut it in the shape that you want. It was just a square strip of wax, and you cut it in the shape that you want, and then you put, and then you know. And I was doing a good job with that. I was rocking it. I was able to do my eyebrows, just clean them up, make them not look so crazy, not have to pay, because I was a freshman in high school. I didn't have any money. And I was able to, you know, keep my eyebrows together a little bit, probably too thin, because, you know, that was maybe the look. One day, right before I was a cheerleader, my freshman year of high school, and right before a cheerleading competition, I was waxing my eyebrows just like normal, and was being like, I must have realized that I wanted to do my eyebrows too late at night. Like I was ready for bed, and then I was like, oh crap, I didn't do my eyebrows and I have this thing tomorrow. So I must have done it like late at night. And well, I cut the wax strip just like normal, and I think that I had to go back over. I think that I didn't get it all the first time or something like that. And I put the wax strip on my eyelid. I accidentally put the wax strip too high on my eyebrow. So it was on my eyebrow, not the scraggly hairs on the bottom. So of course I had to take the wax strip off. And at the time, didn't think about like looking up. I mean, I was a freshman in high school. I was young and I was dumb. But I didn't think of like, oh, let me look up on the internet how to remove wax without just ripping it off. Wish I had known about that then, but I had to just rip the strip off. So I had 1/4 of my eyebrow on my face, and the rest of it was in my hand in a wax strip. That was a miserable time in my life. I would not recommend waxing at home unless you know what you're doing. I would not recommend you cutting wax strips to fit your eyebrow unless you know what you're doing. You know what? Even if you do know what you're doing, you know, it's probably worth it to just go get your eyebrows done. Just go. You deserve the me time. You deserve the self-care. Just don't do it at home. I have never, since then, waxed my eyebrows at home. I don't actually wax my eyebrows at all anymore. I haven't waxed my eyebrows in years. I very rarely, maybe once a year at this point, get them threaded at a place near my house. But for the most part, like throughout the year, other than that once a year that I get them threaded, I do them myself. Okay. Let's conceal. But anyway, that was my embarrassing story that I did to myself in high school. It was pretty embarrassing. Then I had to draw it on, and that was like, again, I was really young. I didn't really know what I was doing. I think my mom maybe helped me, but I looked crazy. And then it was like, one was like really dark and thick, and one was like regular because I wasn't filling in my eyebrows at the time. So I just looked real ridiculous. I think I had to fill in the other side too to make it look even. It was just so bad. And it was like a fully drawn on eyebrow because I had waxed the whole bitch off. And I'm not laughing, but it was really funny. Like looking back, it was really funny. And I walked out of my bedroom. And my younger brother, I don't even know how old he was, probably 10-ish, like called me out. Like, I think that he said like, "What happened to your eyebrow?" Like, didn't even let me have my moment of like just, but I guess that's what little brothers are for, right? To point out all the things that are wrong. That's eyebrows. I like my eyebrows to be a little bit more bushy, a little bit more full. So I let the hairs stick up at the top, but you could trim that if you didn't want that. Be gentle, use less product to begin with, and build. It's always easier to add more product than to try to remove too much product. So when you're doing the concealer, when you're filling in your eyebrows, any of that, always start with less, a lighter hand. Do it. If it doesn't look like enough, add a little bit more. And just keep adding until you feel like you've reached the finished product. So that's all I got. Happy eyebrowing. I hope that you all have a lovely week ahead of you, and I'll be back soon with a new look. Let me know what you think of eyebrows. Let me know if you have other things that are specific that you want me to focus on, and I'll try my best to fulfill. Comment, like, subscribe, you know the deal. I will talk to you and see you soon. Bye.